Alright guys, Freddy Fabricate here again, and today we're going to just dive right in. I'm losing my mind over these old ATV tires. They're on steel rims. I have a bunch of them. I've tried everything to break the bead. I just can't get it to break. I even have an old Coates 1010 tire machine, and even that, it just slips down on the rubber and the bead won't break. So before I cut them off with a Sawzall, my last attempt is in the hydraulic press. What I'm going to do is, I have this attachment that kind of comes down to like a 5/8 shaft on the bottom here. I'm going to make up a bushing in the lathe and then weld on the bottom a crossbar going across with 2 feet pushing down on each side of the bead. And I'm going to see with hydraulic pressure if I can get it to break. All right, one of these days, I swear I'm gonna make a video about how I'm going to organize this whole material section here. But today is not that day. So we're looking through here, gonna try to see what I got. Got some angle iron, got some round tubing. Ooh, I got that piece right there. I think that's overkill though. This guy right here, I think this is going to be it. I'm going to cut this just wider than the 8-inch rim, and then I'll cut 2 feet, weld them on sticking down, and that should be good. All right, so I pulled this bushing out of my junk bin. Has a hole started already in it. I'm going to pop it in a lathe, bore this or drill this through, and then bore it out to this size. Just a slip fit is fine on this. And just gonna mic this real quick to get an idea. So roughly, you can see that, 592 thousandths. All right, I drilled it out up to a little larger than 1/2 inch. And then I put on a boring bar. I'm just gonna go back and forth a few times on that and get it as close as I can to this dimension. All right, here's the part done. This recess was actually there. Ironically, it's slightly larger than this diameter. So when this goes in, it kind of sits right into the recess, which is pretty cool. But doesn't do anything for me. So this part's done. Now I'm gonna measure my cross brace. I'll cut that and then I'll weld it to the back side of this. All right, we're back over at the tire and hydraulic press. So this is an 8-inch rim, or at least takes an 8-inch tire. What I want you guys to remember is that doesn't mean across the bead is 8 inches. That's the inside of the bead. So the outside edge of the rim, when I measure, is 9 inches. So I have to make sure, make this long enough. I need at least 9 inches. Then the width is 1.5 inches on 2 sides. So that becomes 3. And then the 9 inches, we add the 3, is 12. And then I added a 1/2 inch for a little wiggle room. So that's the measurement I have here. You can see, little past it, 12.5. I'm gonna cut that up. Then I'm gonna cut, I have plenty of this left over, which is great. I'm gonna cut a few pieces, just trying to figure out, and this, you know, it's just a guess here, how deep I want these to be able to push down. I also have to see, if I take these I-beams out, if I could just lay the rim on the base and push down that way. Because I'm gonna run out of room up here pretty quickly. All right, I got that piece cut. Like I said before, that's just gonna go up like that. And then this piece will be welded this way to the bottom of that. This is how you get the most strength out of this piece. If I tried to put it this way, it looks great, but this will probably bend. So you put it vertical, sort of like an I-beam, to give it the most strength, as you can see here with the C-channel. All right, so I got the cylinder welded on. I got the sides welded. You know, I didn't go crazy, guys. I just kind of tacked around a little bit, put it on the bench, got it as straight as I could. You know, put a little tack here, little tack there, tack there, tack there, and just try to get it as straight as you can. As you add more heat, it'll pull to the side where you weld. So let's say I got it straight and I just welded on this side. This whole thing will pull this way and be crooked. So what you want to do is put little tacks, or put like 2 tacks on this side with it angled slightly to the left. Then the tacks, you know, will pull it back a little, and then you could just hit it with the hammer slightly to get it back to straight, and then tack the other side. Once you have a couple good tacks on there and it's straight, then you could finish the welds as you see there. All right, so I'm gonna try to explain what I was just saying. I set this up. I'm really just eyeballing this as fast as I could get this done, guys, but I'm gonna show you, you know, feet are probably crooked. I really don't care. Just try to get these as tight as I can to the rim. But what I did was I put 4 tacks here, but I leaned this away. So if you look at it here, kind of over exaggerated, but it's like this. If I put those tacks down and then I pull this to the edge, I'm gonna C-clamp it down. Okay, I got it C-clamped down. It's solid to the table. You can see it's angled back a little. I'm just going to tap it towards the tack weld. All right, went a little too far, so just gotta pull it back a hair. Really hard to do one-handed, but you can see that's pretty straight right there. Maybe just a hair more. I might just hold it. Maybe give it one more tap. And now put 2 tacks on the other side and then finish weld. All right, so I'm like bursting with excitement over here, guys. I'm gonna throw a tire in there real quick. Unfortunately, the bottom of this hydraulic press only has 1 angle iron. I don't know if it was supposed to have another one. It has a hole in the back on each side to mount one, but there's nothing there. So I'll probably make one up at some point, put it in the back, and then I'll have, you know, at least an even surface in the back here to sit on the rims. But for now, I just put some shims back here, like that. Okay, there we go. Just kind of shim that roughly the same height as this angle iron. I'm gonna throw my tire up in there. Okay, let me move this out of the way. And what I've been doing is putting the tire in, kind of centered like that, and then pushing it down like that. Definitely gonna need 2 hands to do this. I'm gonna push it in, set up the press that I just made, and then I'll make a video of me pressing it down, and hopefully it actually works. All right, here it is all set up, and let's start pressing. All right, believe it or not, it broke the bead on this side, but my whole hydraulic press kind of came off the ground in the back. The rim twisted forward. Still looks like it pushed down straight. I'm gonna see if I could go a little bit more. It's very hard for me to continue filming while doing this, as I'm sure you understand. Doesn't look like this side broke, but this side definitely did. So I consider that somewhat of a victory. I'm gonna shut the camera off, go down as far as I can. I'll probably have to look into bolting this down to the table, which I probably should have done a long time ago. My only problem is that I don't have much space in my shop, so I kind of push it back when I'm not using it, use some of the bench space, and then I bring it out when I need it. But for this, might need to be bolted down. All right, moving right along. Looks like we're pulling it down pretty nice. All I did was pull the tire out and spin it around to get to some different sides here. Let's see if I... All right. Woo! Man, I can't even tell you how satisfying that is, guys. These old 8-inch Honda rims, I usually end up having to use a Sawzall, a grinder, cutting snips. They have steel wire in this bead here that's just almost impossible to break. But I consider this a win. Definitely needs some fine tuning, but for the most part, worked pretty good.